what the headlines say. Because basically, we also know that many members of media have got their own political objectives.
I don't get the point.
In other words, all I'm saying is, I remember once when there was a
I was just talking of the SWS survey, and I read the whole thing. So.
You read the whole thing. Well,
yeah.
The thing is, hindi available sa tao yun eh.
Well,
hindi nakikita, hindi.
Business World, and it's printed, and you can go to their website. Of course, they always send me a copy.
Pinadadala ka ng kopya?
By internet.
So maybe that is what we should look at. So to be able to form a better basis to say that this is a reasonably accurate
but
statement.
Mahar's pretty good. Mahar mga Hasilis boys, they've always been very good.
Well, you are also, of course, quite correct in saying that for the most part, the survey companies, at least a number of them, and they're not too many, try to do a darn good job of what they're doing. There are other survey companies that are fundamentally, hindi ko na sasabihin. You've seen them also. But of course, this is what is the problem, no? But because if you have one survey company that's no good, it kind of tends to affect all of the others and the awareness of people on that, no? The second portion, of course, that is the biggest problem there is that what the public might think about certain issues does not necessarily mean that they're right, just because it's popular.
That's correct.
Diba?
That's correct.
They can be very wrong too.
Might be popular, but you could be wrong, yes.
Yeah. So, in other words, we have to be able to weigh certain factors together. And this is where we are saying, okay, we have a survey that says very satisfied, and then we have now international surveys about how to do business and the red tape and things like this.
They're both correct.
They're both correct, but in effect, then you begin to say, anong basis for satisfaction?
No. What I'm saying, it improved over the last time they took the survey in 2008, which amused me, to put it mildly, because I said, hey, I mean, government must be doing something right, because their approval rating as governance improved. And so I said, I wish it will continue, but let's see.
Okay. From 0909-816-3731, Claudio Nalasa of Medina. Senator, bakit ang lahat ng tax ng electric cooperative ipinapasa nila sa mga consumer?
Tax?
Ng electric cooperative.
Wala akong tax ang electric cooperative.
Ayun, nadinig niya yung senador, sinasabi, wala daw tax ang electric cooperative.
Wala ho.
That's tax-free, di ba? Yung mga cooperatives.
That's income tax-free.
Yeah. Pero what about any other taxes? But I'm sure, is it subject to VAT?
No, VAT. Opo. Kailangan naman siguro.
Are you in favor of that bill that says pagka meron kang franchise tax, you should be exempt from all other taxes?
Well, they are saying they will lower it. No, it will lower the bills. Yes and no. If you find out how VAT works, halimbawa dito, tanggalin yung VAT mo dito sa elektrisidad, babayad rin yung mga consumer eh. If this were a retail store and you were selling cigarettes, you would include whatever imputed VAT there would be in your sale. I'll give you a better example.
No, well, not if you're not subject to VAT.
Let me give you a better example. Let's say you owned SM Mega Mall, and your cousin had a friend who was renting a store. So, ang binabayaran ng cousin mo, rent plus VAT. Electricity, walang VAT. Yung mga iba, telephone, etc.
May VAT yung electricity mo?
No, let's say walang VAT.
Okay.
So, iniipon niya yan, and she will put it into the price of the coffee that she sells you, plus 12% VAT. Di binabat na rin ng electricity. That's why VAT is no good if you cut it at any part, because it is carried on to the next transaction anyway. And it becomes a cascading tax because of that.
Input-output yan eh.
Yes. So, pag wala kang input, hindi bali, charge ko naman yan. And I will tell you anything, etong VAT on toll, yan kalokohan yung ginawa ng TRB dyan. I agree, there must be a VAT on toll, because all of those truckers have an output, would have an input VAT, because when they sell their goods, may VAT eh. Okay.
So in effect, sinasabi mo, hindi nang gagaling sa bulsa nila at kinukubra naman sa binabayad ng customer.
Correct. But it should not be 12%. What they did is, pag ang toll noon, 100 pesos, sinabi ng gobyerno, oy, kailangan i-VAT yan. plus 12%. Mali ho yan. Because they already had input VAT. So the most they should have raised, the toll rates was about 1 to 2%. And I will call for an investigation in the Senate because the TRB made a mistake. They don't know their VAT.
Meron tayong question dito, 0917-410-6109. Do you think Ong Pin will honor your invite in the Senate? If not, can you oblige him to do so without the usual medical excuse that everyone is using when they are invited to the Senate? Isn't it so obvious? Then you and us are all helpless when they do that. Obviously, what can you find? When can you find a way for them to respect the Senate more than we do?
Alam po ninyo, meron patron saint yan Saint Luke's Pero no, Mr. Ong Pin said he's dying to come to the Senate, so I have absolutely no doubt that he will appear.
He will want his day in the Senate hearings.
That's what he said.
Ito naman, interesting speculative question. 0917.
Wait. The one who has not appeared for 2 hearings is Ms. Josephine Malalo, his secretary, who owns 99.99% of the shares in all his companies. I'm having her subpoenaed. She will have to appear. She said she was in Makati Med. Gee, I hope you will get out of Makati Med soon because you are going to be subpoenaed.
Okay, from 0917-410-6109. If Ong Pin admits that Arroyo was truly behind him, what then? What will happen to all the profit he made from it? So you really think Ong Pin or MVP admit that Arroyo is behind all that? Where will it put them in the end?
I don't know. Let's take it a step at a time. No, let's take it a step at a time. The law that has been violated is the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act, which means that if you gave undue advantage to, you did a favor by giving a lot of exemptions. And remember, in the Ong Pin loan, there were 10 waivers. He did not have to give his financial statement. He did not have to sign JSS. Yan, you know, the JSS, undercapitalized. Oh, walang kwenta yan. Okay lang yan. So, that is against the law.
Probably because they were holding on to the certificates anyway. Kasi this was simply an installment sale.
Yes and no.
Of shares, no? It is not a loan as such, no? It was an installment
That's
sale.
Your understanding. But do you know that the company did not have in its articles of incorporation and primary or secondary power the authority to become a third-party pledgor?
I don't think you necessarily have to have
that
in
in the rule
your
of the bank. It's in the rule of the bank must expressly state that they can act as a third-party pledgor.
Okay, I'm not going to dispute you on that one, no? But that
sinangla mo sa akin, pero your articles say you cannot make sangla. O, hindi. Paano yan ngayon?
Unless they amended the articles of incorporation.
That's correct. And they said, no, you're exempt. We will not. You don't have to amend. Ginanon. So that was one of the waivers.
Okay. Alam mo kasi, basically, the thing that, you know, having come from the banking profession sometimes, as you know, credit is no matter what you structure it as, is a judgment call.
I agree with you.
And there is nothing which stops them even from giving a clean loan. There's nothing which says that they must structure everything on a collateralized basis.
I agree with you. Unfortunately, this is a government bank. And there are certain rules within the bank and certain rules handed down by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Now, if this were your private bank, or if your board of directors who own 60% of the shares of the bank say, Ray, give Sergio a clean loan of 5 million pesos, that's fine.
Pero hindi ba nag-testify na sa inyo ang BSP? And I think Espinilla said, we see no violation.
No, they did not say that.
He did not say that?
Yeah, that's what their PR is saying. It's not. What Espinilla said is, when we go into audit, we audit those that have outstanding balances because we don't have time to audit all.
Okay.
And you know that, no? So the BSP will only go in there and out of 1,000 loans, pagpipiliin lang, ano dito in trouble. So they never got to the loan that was paid. And we're asking them to do so now. So they are undertaking an examination of the circumstances surrounding the particular loan that we are investigating in the Senate.
Okay. All right. So that was the answer to your question. We don't know. This good senator is optimistic that Mr. Ong Pin will show up.
He said
the
he
hearings
would,
when he said he would, no?
Yeah.
And then what it will mean if he did admit any connection to the FG, which is probably highly unlikely.
No, he will not admit.